We had a slight change, but everything works out for the best is my motto. And hopefully Gary here agrees. Gary was originally going to be our chairman of the day and introduce our speaker. Our speaker is sick, so Gary volunteered to be our speaker. And he also recruited the chairman of the day, who was Brad Martin. Brad is Vice President for Strategic Development for Tri-State Industrial Group. He's a native of Oklahoma City, and he earned his degree in finance from Southern Nazarene University. He serves on the boards of Prevent Blindness Oklahoma and is currently the chairman of the board for Aztec Charter Schools. He's also an active member of the Downtown Club of Oklahoma City and a graduate of Leadership Oklahoma City Class 30. Brad and his wife Gina are active in the Oklahoma City communities and attend Crossings Community Church with their 2 children. So please welcome Brad.
Thank you, President Robert. It's a great honor to be asked today to introduce our speaker, Gary Allison. I've had the privilege of knowing Gary for roughly 4 years, get to see firsthand not only his leadership, but more importantly his integrity, as everybody in this room can understand. Sometimes you have people in positions that are leaders, but they lack the integrity. Gary has both, and so it's a great honor that I got called to do this part, not his part, which is going to give the presentation. So Gary Allison is CEO of Tri-State Industrial Group, a complete infrastructure service provider in electrical, automation, construction, excavation, and power construction, serving energy, industrial, and manufacturing markets. He serves as a member of the National Fire Protection Association, Greater Oklahoma City Board of Advisors, Oklahoma City University Wind Turbine Advisory Board, Rotary Club 29 member, Regional Food Bank Board of Directors, Sunbeam Family Services Board of Director, and Oklahoma City Philharmonic Board of Directors. Mr. Allison was a 25th contractor in the state of Oklahoma to obtain the state electrical contractor's license. Once a maintenance man for the Ramada Inn in Oklahoma City. Through work, study, and risk, Gary has built one of the fastest growing companies in Oklahoma City. Originally from Bartlesville, Oklahoma, Gary and his wife Jan now reside in Edmond, Oklahoma. It's a great honor, Mr. Gary Allison.
Thank you, Brad. I learned last night that I'll be speaking today. Larry, the gentleman who was going to speak, advertised, has the flu. And why he chose this day, I have no idea. And I have a confession. I have not spoken publicly in many, many years. But I was thinking, maybe I should ease back into it. Club 29? You kidding? Tri-State Industrial Group, we just recently, in 2012, we were ranked number 5 in the region in fastest growth, quite the honor. This year, we were ranked number 1 in the metro area. We have somewhere a collection of employees, mainly employees, 350 to 400 people working for us, employees and staffing folks, working in Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico. We've snuck up a couple of times to New York, didn't let them know, got up there, got back out. Been to Pennsylvania. It's been a wonderful 30 years. This is our 30-year anniversary. Now, I originally, personally, grew up in northeast Oklahoma, originally from Dewey, home of Tom Mintz. I didn't know Tom. A great actor, one of the great Western actor, and then we moved to Bartlesville. Shortly after I graduated, actually I think that night after graduating, I moved to Chicago, went to school for a little bit, about 2 years, and then decided I better do something else. I'm not claiming that was a good idea, I'm just saying this is what I did. And I married at that time my high school sweetheart. Now you can imagine we'll use the term, college dropout, and she was an accomplished musician, an college honor student. My in-laws were just ecstatic. when we were married, I had a job in a factory in Chicago. And just imagine a factory in Chicago. Yes, the sun never shines, it's gray, it's dusty, a bunch of grumpy people, and me. My job was, on one side, I had the plastic piece of the screwdriver, and on the other side, I had the screwdriver shank. My job all day long was to put the two together, hydraulic. This way, and then push the button. Squeeze together, and there you had a screwdriver. All day long, this is what I did. Now, I was proud of the job. I got to work, typically I got to work riding my bicycle. We didn't have a car, we didn't have a TV, we didn't have heat in the winter, and we had windows in the summer. I learned there was a gentleman next to me, a typical Bear gentleman, that had his transistor radio. And I learned from that transistor radio that we lived in poverty. I didn't know it. We were below the poverty line. My government told me I was poor. I didn't realize it. We made what we made. We bought what we could buy, the milk, the bread. We ate a lot of day-old bread. And so we got by. It was just information. Okay, we're poor. That's kind of neat. We're poor. Now, we lived in Chicago for quite a while, and eventually, probably one of the best business decisions I ever made, although I didn't know it was a business decision, we moved back to Oklahoma in about 75. So we ended up back here, and I got the best job I ever had. I was on cloud 9. I was a maintenance man for Ramada Inn, and I think it's still there, I-240 and I-35. It was a fantastic job. They really needed me. Things broke every day. I learned, though, that when we had really big problems, like something didn't work electrically, or a toilet didn't flush, I had to call the muscle in. I had to call in the plumbers. I had to call in the electricians. And those guys, I really envied. Big truck, tool belt, shiny tools. I had the cheap stuff, you know. So I thought, I want to try that. I want to go in that direction. That looks pretty neat. I want the truck, the tool belt, the shiny tools. I want a title. I want to be a journeyman. So I went at night to Moore Norman Technical Center. And if anyone ever wants a cheerleader for technical centers, I'm your guy. Not everyone is carved out to be a doctor, to be a lawyer, to be a CPA, for higher education. There's a lot of us that are technically inclined. So I went there at night, I studied, I enjoyed it. I found something that was really fun to me. Now, as fate had it, this was in the late 70s, and we had in Oklahoma an oil boom going on. A lot of you, I'm guessing a lot of you, remember that. It was about 2 or 3 booms removed. And so I graduated from my education with an electrical diploma, and I was hired quite fast in an electrical company that specialized in energy. It was just coincidental. I wasn't looking to go into energy. It's just what was open at the time. And it was the first time in my life that I felt like the homecoming queen. I had people bidding for my talent. You remember the oil boom, 2 or 3 removed, that one. People needed technical skill. And I ended up, 1, 2, 3, I ended up in the offshore in the Gulf of Mexico, then came back to Oklahoma, and ended up with a company that we built drilling rigs. We did the welding part of it, we did the electrical part, we did the whole thing. We commissioned it and sent it out. If you remember those times, you also remember Penn Square Bank. Ooh, nasty stuff. Penn Square Bank, you ought to read a book, Belly Up. It's good reading, but Penn Square Bank brought the energy industry to its knees. Now, the company I was with, I didn't own it. I was a general manager, so I ran the place. Did a pretty good job. We had over 100 people, and did a good job. In 1982 is when that bank failed. I think the same day that the bank failed, someone cut the phone lines. It stopped that fast, the industry. Now, we didn't bank there, the company I was with, but the lot of the clients that we worked for banked there. So, my job for the next few months, the worst job I ever had, was to lay off people every day. I went to work and laid off people. You didn't want to come into Gary's office. It was, he had a pink slip and Kleenex. That's what I had. The last person I laid off was me. There was no one left. There was one other gentleman and we walked out that door. We were in the parking lot. And I said, Terry, if you still have your Rolodex, I have that shiny tool pouch. I had one by then. I still have my tool pouch. If you get the work, I'll do it. Now, our business plan was the kids need to eat. Our financial plan was, what do you have in your checking account? This is what I have in my checking account. You ready? Great. You go get it, I'll do it. That's how we started in May of 1983. Now, there wasn't enough work for 100 people, but it turned out there was plenty of work for 2 people. So we began what was Tri-State Electrical Contractors in 1983. Now, we worked hard. Probably my average day was 11 hours in the field, 3 hours of designing at night, 2 hours of study, 7 days a week. That was our life, but we chose it. That's the life we chose to have. I enjoyed it, I did it. Wore me out, wore my wife out, but we became a company that we would not have become except for one of the darkest days in my life is when I had lost a job. I was unemployed, so we had to do something. So we began our little company. As time went on, we never lost a client. We never failed on a project. So we started to add people and grow. We started to grow. Funny thing about growth, if you're, and all of you are, this is Club 29. My goodness, you all have seen it. When you begin to grow, then you begin to have problems. So every bit of growth we did, I discovered a new neighborhood of problems. We did begin, every once in a while, we would lose a client. We would fail on a project. So we were at a crossroads. We either dial back to a level of safety where we were comfortable managing, or we push forward to places we've never been and bring in professionals to help us run the company. One is a move of safety. The other is a move of risk. Neither way would have been wrong. It's not a right or wrong. It's a business choice. And I'll detour just a little bit here. And detour in saying, I love America. God bless America. And God bless Oklahoma. Where else could a guy choose to succeed or fail? It was my choice. I could succeed or fail. If I fail, it's my fault. If I succeed, I had a hand in it. Where else can you do that but in America? And I'll tell you a little secret in a microphone. Tell you a secret. I do want to make a lot of money. Don't tell all my. I might have liberal friends here. I want to make a lot of money. I want to make a lot of money. But before you judge me too harshly, you have to ask me what do I want to do with that. And being in this club, making some money, I meet people. Who do I meet? I meet people like Frida at Aztec. I meet people like Rodney at Regional Food Bank. I meet Eddie at the Philharmonic. I meet Ray. At Sunbeam. I meet people who are actually affecting positive change in our community and for our neighbors. I now have that opportunity to shoulder up with these soldiers and affect a little positive influence in my neighborhood. It is the grand, now after, at my age, my enjoyment is giving back. Giving, my neighbor is hungry, my neighbor is cold, my neighbor's children are in a dark place. I am at a place because of capitalism. I am in a place to help. And this is a great honor and a great joy. And all of us, this is our purpose, even here at Rotary. What an honor, what a joy to be in a position to help those who were where I was at one time. That was a detour. Let's do the pledge again. God bless America. Well, okay, I have a partner. I'm back on message now. So I have this partner. He chooses, again, there's no wrong choice. There's just business. My friend chooses safety. I choose risk. Only time will tell, right? But, so I buy him out. I buy him out and bring in professionals like Brad, professionals to take care of finance, professionals to take care of HR, professionals to take care of compliance, of DOT. I cannot be the smartest guy in the room. I can't be. I have to surround myself with people smarter than me that make me look pretty smart. So this is what we have done, and it's just a choice, the direction that we've taken. So we have, with all of this talent we've brought on board, we've added to the electrical company. We don't call it Tri-State Electrical Contractors anymore. We call it a Tri-State Industrial Group. We've added excavating. Help me if I miss anything. We've added automation. Automation is the brains of electricity. Everything is computerized today, so you need programmers and software to tell the big motor what to do, how fast to move, when to slow down, when to stop. So automation is the brains of electricity. Then we added utility, power utility, which is the high voltage line that you see when you drive down the highway, the 30, 40, 50-foot poles with high voltage, 100K, 120K, 200K voltage traveling down them. Very, very expensive insurance on that stuff. It's hot work, and our guys are out there. They were deployed in this last ice storm to go. You get to charge more. Now, if you were ever wondering, in an ice storm, all of these guys, we get our picture taken, and we're the pride of the community, but we also get to charge more in an ice storm. Don't tell anyone. Okay? Don't tell anyone. So, and we added, let's see, we added general construction, covering it all pretty well? Pretty much. Okay. And all of these companies are working together to deliver a complete package. I aspire to, we've added engineering too. One of the few contractors in Oklahoma City that has their own in-house engineering. Very proud of that. But we deliver a complete package to our client. That is our aspiration, to deliver this complete package. Now, where we'll go from here in the future, to me, every $1,000 we add to the revenue line is a new world for me. I've never been there before. So my aspiration, if you ever read a book, Good and Great, a really good book, I recommend it. One of the criteria for going from a good company to a great company is longevity. That is a company that will last after the founding fathers are gone. I want to build something that will last beyond me. That is my aspiration. Now, my realization is that being number one in the Metro 50 brought a whole bucket load of, you gotta be kidding me, challenges. I didn't see that one coming. Every day there are in business the glory, the respect, the fun of business. You have victories and you have challenges. And the challenges, they'll never go away. You just address them and try to make about 55% correct decisions over wrong decisions. So here we are. Where will we be next year? We won't be number one again. You can't do that 2 years. I can't. I don't want to do it 2 years in a row. But I do aspire for us at Tri, we'll have to tell the guys this. My aspiration is that we are always in the Metro 50, but in the middle of the pack. I so respect those companies that are consistently there, not necessarily number one, but are right there in the middle of the pack, consistent growth and dependability year over year over year is what I aspire to build a Tri-State Industrial Group. Since I only had since last night to prepare, I'm going to say, well, you adjourned the meeting, but I'm going to say I'm done. That's my talk. Thank you. I will, if you don't ask any math questions, I'll take questions.
Where do you have locations?
Oh, very good, very good. Well, of course, here in Oklahoma City, and Tulsa. We have something in Alva, North Alva, a satellite operation in North Alva. Then we have a facility in Fort Worth, Texas, and we have a facility in Odessa, Texas. Now, Odessa, you ever been there? Well, go visit the guys there. Then come back and enjoy Oklahoma. Anything else? Fantastic. Thank you for the honor.
Gary, thank you very much for dipping your big toe back into the public speaking arena here before the friendly audience of Club 29. Our best programs are always ones featuring our Club 29 members, and certainly today is a perfect example. Please accept this CD from the club in appreciation for your visit. Thank you. And all proceeds from the sales of those go to eradicate polio globally. Thank you. Next week's program is our holiday program, and newly elected Club 29 Director Lance McDaniel will be our chairman of the day. On this day in history, December 10th in 1901, the first Nobel Peace Prizes were awarded. And on this day, December 10th in 1906, Teddy Roosevelt became the first American to receive one. So our thought for the day comes from him. He said, "Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care." We are adjourned.